I asked the question this morning to another player, why didn't he play Phoenix and why is he not playing here? He's never missed these. I'm surprised he didn't play. I don't know. I don't know what Phil's doing. I know Phil's got a lot of stress in life right now. And, I don't know what he's doing.
Golf's gone rogue. What was once country clubs and handshakes is now cash, chaos, and pure controversy. The Saudi-backed LIV Tour didn't just split the sport, it blew it up. And the players leading that charge? They've turned golf's quiet greens into the loudest war in sports. Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson just can't help himself. Every time golf's civil war between LIV and the PGA Tour seems to cool down, Lefty finds a new match to throw into the flames. It's October 2025, and once again, Mickelson's name is trending for all the wrong or right reasons, depending on which side you're on. His latest offense? A smug, pseudo-philosophical social media post claiming PGA fans are more stressed than LIV fans. The tweet, dripping with condescension and that unmistakable Mickelson flair, detonated like a tee shot straight into the crowd. Within hours, analysts accused him of rewriting history, sponsors rolled their eyes, and golf Twitter turned into a battlefield. Because when Phil opens his mouth, golf burns, and he seems to love the heat.
Well, I wouldn't say it's gone. I mean, we are about kind of growing the game globally, and the PGA Tour has always been about growing the game nationally. So if you look at it like that, there's a lot of criticism that we take in the United States, but if you look at globally the way LIV Golf is received, it's incredible. And the model that professional golf has had, very individualistic, not controlling a player's schedule. Sponsors don't know what they're buying. TV doesn't know who's going to be playing, and the fans don't know who they're going to be watching. We're changing that model entirely. You know who's going to be playing,
This isn't his first inferno. Back in 2022, Phil dropped the original bombshell that split the sport in two. In a now infamous interview, he called the PGA obnoxiously greedy, hinted at deep-rooted corruption, and accused the tour of burying scandals. The fallout was biblical. Sponsors abandoned him overnight, the media eviscerated him, and the PGA all but erased his name from polite conversation. For months, Mickelson was a ghost, a disgraced hero wandering through the wreckage of his own creation. But when LIV came calling with Saudi billions and a promise of player freedom, the exile turned prophet. By the time the dust settled, Phil had reinvented himself as golf's loudest revolutionary. Now, at 55, he's not asking for forgiveness. He's demanding attention. His new gospel? LIV is salvation. He calls it Golf Reimagined, praises its shorter schedule as life-saving, and insists its laid-back crowds represent the sport's true spirit. Meanwhile, he dismisses the PGA as an exhaustion machine for the desperate. It's not just competition anymore, it's ideology, and Mickelson is preaching like it's Sunday service. But beneath that trademark grin, the cracks show. His 2025 season has been a seesaw of highs and humiliations, solid finishes in Miami and Hong Kong, then early exits and whispers of decline. The gambling rumors still trail him, lingering like cigar smoke, and his defiant defenses of LIV's Saudi backing have only deepened the divide. Yet, even surrounded by scandal, Phil thrives on the chaos. He's mentoring LIV's younger stars, arguing with critics, and framing every controversy as growth. Love him or loathe him, Mickelson refuses to fade away. He's golf's aging rebel, equal parts genius and instigator. In a sport built on silence and restraint, Phil Mickelson has become its loudest, most dangerous voice, and he's not done talking. Patrick Reed. If Phil Mickelson is the philosopher of LIV Golf, then Patrick Reed is its storm, wild, relentless, and impossible to ignore. The man once hailed as Captain America has now fully evolved into Captain Controversy, and in 2025, his saga remains the sport's most turbulent soap opera. Reed's story reads like Shakespeare rewritten for the internet age. Genius stained by scandal, defiance twisted into downfall, and a hero-turned-villain who just won't stop swinging. His name has been linked to every flavor of golf controversy imaginable: sand-moving accusations, rules violations, icy locker room feuds, and lawsuits against journalists who dare to question his honor. But this year, Reed showed a rare crack in the armor. He cried.
Yeah, the golf course was a pure test out there. I mean, if you hit a poor golf shot, you'd struggle and kind of have to figure out a way to try to make par. But if you hit quality golf shots, you're rewarded around this place. And unfortunately, I mean, I honestly felt like I hit a lot of quality golf shots. The putter was flat. I didn't really make anything today besides hitting it close there on the first hole. And
In a raw October 25th interview, Reed broke down while talking about how his children are being bullied at school, mocked as cheaters' kids. The scene was uncomfortable, even tragic. For a brief moment, the world saw Patrick not as the villain, but as a father cornered by his own legacy. Yet sympathy evaporated quickly. The internet didn't forgive. It memed. "Play cleaner, cry less," one brutal comment read. Reed's heartbreak was real, but so was his fury. He blamed the media for turning golf's gentleman's game into a witch hunt for clicks, accusing reporters of twisting every narrative to fit his villain role. Still, even as he raged against the machine, he couldn't resist adding fuel to the fire. After clinching a dramatic win at LIV Dallas in June, his first major victory since jumping ship, Reed taunted PGA loyalists, calling them haters stuck in 2019. The crowd booed. Reed grinned like he'd just hit another perfect drive. It was pure theater. His defiance has become performance art, and his disdain for approval almost admirable in its intensity. His comment that Ryder Cup players shouldn't get paid because pride should be enough was meant to sound noble, but it landed like another grenade. Critics rolled their eyes. Fans split down the middle. Still, the numbers don't lie. Reed is winning again. His hole-in-one in Adelaide went viral, his aggression on the course electrifying even his haters. But beneath the highlights lies a man trapped by his reputation. LIV's no-cut format protects him from embarrassment, but also from redemption. He's rich, isolated, and undeniably compelling. Patrick Reed may never cleanse his name, but maybe he doesn't care to. In a sport obsessed with decorum, he's the chaos that keeps it interesting. And deep down, he knows it. Sergio Garcia. Sergio Garcia has always been golf's emotional wildfire. Brilliant, explosive, unpredictable. For 2 decades, he was Europe's heartbeat, the fiery Spaniard who turned the Ryder Cup into personal theater. But in 2025, that same fire burns with a different fuel: frustration. His latest meltdown? Being left off the 2025 Ryder Cup team, a snub that didn't just sting, it detonated. What should have been a quiet omission became a global headline, ripping open the fault line between LIV golf and traditional golf loyalty. For Sergio, it wasn't about being benched, it was about betrayal.
Not obviously, you would say why. I mean, you finished 27th. Not only because of that, I felt like I played well, but more than anything because I gained a friend back. You know, a friend that I kind of felt like I lost in the last year or so. You know, we talked and we had a great conversation, and I feel like I have that friend back, and that to me means a lot. So you know, that's a very positive thing.
Once Europe's golden child, Garcia now feels like golf's forgotten son. His defection to LIV in 2022 cost him not only his standing, but his soul in the eyes of purists. When Captain Luke Donald announced the Bethpage Black lineup without him, the silence from Garcia's camp spoke volumes. Then came the withdrawal from the Irish Open, a protest disguised as a personal decision. It was a tantrum in slow motion, the veteran's equivalent of smashing a club mid-round. Critics mocked him for being dramatic. Fans were divided. Passionate or pathetic? One headline asked. The answer, as always with Sergio, depends on who you ask. But behind the fiery outbursts is a story soaked in heartbreak. The same emotion that once made him golf's most electric player now isolates him. The 2017 Masters champion, who once cried tears of joy at Augusta, now sheds quieter ones in post-round interviews, speaking of unfinished business and wanting another chance. He's tweaking his swing, grinding through practice sessions, and even flirting with Q School, a humbling move for a man who once stood atop the sport. Yet, that stubborn persistence, that refusal to fade away, is pure Sergio. Among LIV loyalists, Garcia is a hero, a symbol of the league's emotional defiance. They praise him as a leader, a mentor, the embodiment of passion over politics. But to PGA loyalists, he's become the cautionary tale of what happens when ego outweighs legacy. To them, Sergio's story isn't a tragedy, it's justice. Still, the poetry of his fall is undeniable. The man who once played with heart now stands accused of playing without honor. Every slammed club, Every teary press conference, every sarcastic jab at the establishment, it's the echo of a man still fighting ghosts of relevance. The Ryder Cup may never call again, but make no mistake, Sergio Garcia will keep shouting into golf's cold, divided night, demanding the respect he believes he's still earned. Henrik Stenson, once the ice-cool Swede who commanded Europe's Ryder Cup dreams with robotic precision, Henrik Stenson now stands on golf's frozen edge, exiled, demoted, and eerily silent. In 2025, the man once nicknamed the Iceman has melted into melancholy. LIV Golf officially dropped the hammer in August, announcing that Stenson and fellow struggler Mito Pereira were being relegated after dismal performances. It was a decision that shocked even the most cynical fans. Henrik Stenson, the 2016 Open champion, the model of discipline and grace, now out of a job? The headline read like a parody, but it wasn't. The fall was real, and it was brutal. Stenson's decline didn't happen overnight. It was the slow unraveling of a legend. When he joined LIV in 2022, he did so knowing the price, his Ryder Cup captaincy, his reputation, his place among Europe's elite. The announcement back then felt seismic, one of golf's classiest figures defecting for Saudi millions. "It's a business decision," he said, calm as ever. But beneath that calm was a storm brewing, one that would ultimately drown his career. Once the steadiest fairway finder in the game, Stenson began missing cuts, misplacing confidence, and, perhaps worst of all, missing relevance. By 2025, the writing was on the wall. LIV's ruthless meritocracy, sold as innovation but executed like reality TV, showed no mercy for nostalgia. When Stenson's name appeared on the relegated list, the internet gasped. Commentators called it cold, fans called it karma. But Stenson himself? Stoic to the end. At his farewell press conference, he sat behind the mic in a crisp suit, his voice calm, his eyes distant. "It's been a journey," he murmured, a phrase so understated it ached. Behind the composure, everyone could feel the heartbreak. Translation: this wasn't supposed to end like this. Critics accused LIV of chewing up and spitting out its own icons, proof that loyalty, even rebellion, has an expiration date. Stenson's sin wasn't arrogance or controversy, it was mediocrity. And in the spectacle-driven circus LIV has become, mediocrity is the only unforgivable offense. Fans, however, rallied behind him. They saw in Henrik something rare, dignity in defeat. While Mickelson tweets manifestos and Reed fuels chaos, Stenson exits quietly, still carrying himself with the grace that made him beloved. Now, at 49, he faces the unthinkable, irrelevance. The tragedy isn't just that Henrik Stenson fell, it's that he fell silently. No outburst, no scandal, no viral meltdown, just a legend fading into the frost. And in a sport that now rewards noise over nobility, that silence might be the loudest statement of all. Ian Poulter. If golf had a comment section, Ian Poulter would be pinned to the top. The self-styled people's golfer has turned his social media feeds into a 24/7 soapbox, part confessional, part cage match. At 49, he's still raging against the golf establishment, technology, and occasionally gravity itself. In 2025, Poulter isn't fighting for trophies anymore, he's fighting for relevance. And now, in a cruel twist of irony, the league he once defended with every fiber of his tartan wardrobe, LIV Golf, is threatening to relegate him. It's the latest chapter in Poulter's long-running drama, the once dapper Ryder Cup icon turned full-time keyboard warrior. Back in his prime, he was golf's swaggering showman, spiky hair, bold trousers, and an attitude big enough to fill Augusta. Fans loved him for his Ryder Cup heroics, where he screamed, fist-pumped, and single-handedly dragged Europe back from the brink. But that same fire, unleashed on Twitter and X years later, feels less like passion and more like a cry for attention. When Poulter tweeted, "Golf's lost its soul, thank God for LIV," in July 2025, even his LIV teammates reportedly winced. The replies were brutal. "You mean you sold yours?" one fan shot back. But Poulter didn't flinch. He never does. He thrives on outrage, retweeting criticism with snarky comebacks and memes. To him, every argument is a match-play duel, and he refuses to concede. On the course, though, the numbers tell a harsher story. His once reliable iron play has dulled, and his Fireballs GC team, co-captained by Sergio Garcia, has sunk toward the bottom of LIV's standings. Rumors swirl of a quiet retirement, but Poulter scoffs. "They've been writing me off since 2004, he snapped after a rough finish in Singapore, his trademark shades hiding a flash of frustration. "I'm not done yet." But the defiance feels heavier now. The same confidence that once made him golf's lovable villain now reads as stubbornness. Poulter's stuck between eras, too old for the new wave, too controversial for the old guard. The PGA won't touch him, LIV may soon cut him, and his online tirades only fuel the spectacle. Yet somehow, that's exactly how he likes it. Because Ian Poulter doesn't need the scoreboard, he's already won the comment section. In a sport built on quiet dignity, he's the loudest echo, the last true showman of golf's social media circus. Love him or loathe him, he's proof that in 2025, noise is legacy. Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau isn't just playing golf, he's dissecting it under a microscope. The self-proclaimed mad scientist of the fairways has turned every round into a research project, every swing into an equation. In 2025, DeChambeau is more than a golfer. He's a walking experiment with a $125 million budget. His YouTube empire, complete with slow-motion breakdowns, biomechanics charts, and clickbait titles like "Why Traditional Golf is Wrong About Physics," has made him LIV Golf's biggest content magnet. For Bryson, golf isn't about trophies anymore. It's about data, drama, and digital dominance.
I really don't focus too much about the future. I don't set any goals. I don't have any expectations. It's not me. I'm an analyst. I like analyzing things, and I'm a physics major. So I love understanding numbers and figuring things out. And when it comes to golf, it's just figuring out percentages and going by your percentages. I'm trying to go in with no expectations, and I'm at top of the leaderboard, great. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. There's still 3 more rounds to go, and I'm just looking to play my best golf.
But even science can't insulate him from scandal. In October, DeChambeau sent golf purists into collective cardiac arrest by declaring LIV Golf the future of physics-based competition. The statement, equal parts ego and engineering, immediately went viral. PGA loyalists roasted him online. "He's not playing golf," one analyst scoffed. "He's playing Minecraft with real clubs." But Bryson doesn't flinch under fire. When critics call him arrogant, he calls it confidence. When they question his integrity, he counters with geometry. He's turned arrogance into a performance art, a spectacle that LIV can't get enough of. Yet for all his equations, the numbers don't always balance. His T2 finish at Greenbrier in June looked promising, but it was overshadowed by a disastrous shankfest at LIV Nashville that became an internet sensation. Fans remixed it into a TikTok dance trend. His facepalm reaction alone spawned a million memes. But Bryson, ever the opportunist, played along. "Every miss is data," he said, grinning through the chaos. It's the kind of absurd self-awareness that makes him both ridiculous and brilliant, an athlete who treats humiliation as a marketing strategy. Off the course, DeChambeau has fully embraced his role as LIV's showman. He live streams practice sessions, debates fans about golf physics, and posts drone footage of his drives like they're NASA launches. His audience? Millions. His approval rating among golf traditionalists? Near zero. But Bryson doesn't care. He's not chasing world ranking points anymore. He's chasing engagement. In a sport defined by silence and subtlety, he's introduced chaos and content, and the clicks keep coming. Still, beneath the equations and bravado lies a familiar ache. DeChambeau misses the majors, the roars, the validation, the respect. He'll never say it, but his innovation over politics mantra sounds more like self-defense than conviction. He's built a new kind of fame, one rooted in algorithms instead of accolades. Yet even his fiercest critics admit it. Golf hasn't been this entertaining in years. Whether he's analyzing swing planes or his own psyche, Bryson DeChambeau has mastered one thing better than anyone: staying impossible to ignore. Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson doesn't yell, he doesn't rant, he doesn't need to. When he defected to LIV Golf for a jaw-dropping $150 million, he let the number do the talking. No statements, no apologies, just a shrug and that trademark half-smile that says, "Yeah, I did it." In a world where Phil Mickelson tweets manifestos and Ian Poulter live tweets meltdowns, DJ's silence was deafening. His betrayal didn't explode, it echoed. Fast forward to 2025, and Johnson remains the enigma of LIV golf, the calm eye in its hurricane of chaos. His swing is still hypnotic, his demeanor still ice cold, but something's changed. The man who once ruled world rankings now plays for a tour without them. The same player who dominated majors now competes for team points and digital trophies. Even his wife, Paulina Gretzky, can't distract from the slow fade of his stardom. The photos still gleam, the yachts still glisten, but the glory, that's gone missing. Yet, beneath the quiet exterior, DJ might be LIV's most powerful operator. Insiders whisper that he's more than just a player, he's a shadow executive. The Four Aces GC captain reportedly mediates disputes, shapes team drafts, even influences how LIV structures its limited field events. In a league built on personalities, Johnson's absence of one has become his weapon. He doesn't need to yell, he just walks in, and the room adjusts. But silence, over time, becomes its own statement. While his peers rant about Ryder Cups and world rankings, Johnson's disinterest reads like detachment. Fans once adored his effortless dominance, the guy who made golf look cool, who made winning seem accidental. Now, they wonder if he even cares. His last LIV win, back in early 2024, barely trended. The celebrations felt rehearsed, the champagne flat. Behind closed doors, some say DJ's patience is thinning. He's reportedly frustrated with the lack of world ranking recognition, but too proud to admit it publicly. When asked in August if he missed the majors, his response was pure Johnson. "They'll miss me more." It was cool, quotable, and completely hollow. Dustin Johnson may have chosen the quiet path, but quiet doesn't always mean peace. In the carnival of LIV golf, where chaos sells, his stoicism now looks like surrender. He's the ghost of golf's golden age, drifting through a league he helped legitimize. The tragedy? He got everything he wanted, and it still wasn't enough. Taylor Gooch. No one in golf flexes quite like Taylor Gooch. The 33-year-old has turned self-confidence into a contact sport, and in 2025, he's winning at it. The Oklahoma native, once dismissed as that guy who left early for the money, now struts around LIV golf like he owns it. Every swing, every quote, every slow-motion smirk feels like a performance designed to remind the golf world that he should be the headline. Forget humility. Gooch has replaced it with a highlight reel of swagger. And to be fair, the man's earned the right to brag. 3 LIV wins in 2024, multiple top 5 finishes this season, and a swing so consistent it makes even his haters grind their teeth. But Gooch's problem isn't performance, it's personality. He doesn't just believe he deserves a seat at golf's top table, he believes he is the table. His February 2025 press conference cemented that reputation when he declared, deadpan, "I'd rather win a LIV title than a PGA major." The golf world collectively gasped. Twitter caught fire. And Gooch? He grinned. His critics call him delusional, his fans call him fearless, and both might be right. When he blasted the majors as embarrassing for excluding LIV players, the backlash was instant. "You can't disrespect tradition," one analyst warned. Gooch didn't blink. "Tradition disrespected us first," he snapped, turning golf's politest sport into a mic drop moment. That line alone became a meme, a mantra, and a middle finger all at once. But behind the brashness lies a deeper truth. Gooch is the face of LIV's generational rebellion. He's the new prototype, young, digital, unfiltered. While veterans like Phil and DJ play elder statesmen, Gooch is the algorithm's favorite golfer, the one who turns every interview into content. LIV executives love him, purists loathe him. Either way, everyone's watching. Still, confidence has a price. Each bold statement draws more scrutiny. Each tweet invites another avalanche of mockery. The majors may freeze him out, but they also haunt him. For all his bravado, Gooch can't escape the shadow of legitimacy that only the Masters or the Open can bestow. He'll never admit it, of course, not while there's another camera in his face. Taylor Gooch doesn't wait for validation. He manufactures it, packages it, and sells it back to the fans who doubt him. Whether he's the future of golf or its most glamorous cautionary tale, one thing's certain. He's not playing for acceptance anymore. He's playing for history, on his own terms. From Mickelson's defiance to Gooch's arrogance, the LIV Tour isn't just golf, it's gladiator theater. Each swing carries a scandal, each victory a side-eye. These aren't just players, they're disruptors, rebels, and cautionary tales wrapped in sponsorship logos. In 2025, the fairways are quieter, but the drama, louder than ever.